I hear you helped get the latest batch of skooma into Sentinel. Thank you.
Hail! Satakal eats himself, and the spirits move to the far shores. Shiri? I do not know this name, nor do I know anything about any Onse ward. I know only that Satakal will soon devour himself, devour us all. We must warn them. Or must we? No, it matters not.
Greetings.
Hello there.
It is good to see you again, my friend. Now I understand why Tuwaka bid me to come here to Hunding's watch. If you are to save the Alakir Desert from the Withered Hand, there are things you must learn from the spirits of this place. Yes, many of them. And pilgrims come from all over Hammerfell to honor them, the heroes of our greatest wars. It is usually a quiet affair, but when one such as you arrives, spirits of friend and foe alike awaken to create a portrait of the past. To teach you, if you are to be champion of the Alakir, you must understand the spirit of this desert and its people. Tuwaka says you must walk in the steps of our heroes, battle the spirits of the enemies they faced, then you will understand. First, you will face the Nidic peoples. When the regatta first crashed on these shores, the Needs were first to challenge them. Fight the Nidic soldier spirits, claim their essences, and use them to summon and face their leader, War Chief Hakon. That was the name of our Yokudan ancestors during the exodus from our ancient homeland. After Yokuda sank beneath the waves, they sailed here in search of a new home. Their coming was not peaceful. You see, the term regatta means warrior wave. The Nidic peoples were the ancient ancestors of our human kin here in Tamriel. Those who dwelled on the Isle of Hern had long struggled to resist the elves prior to the regatta's arrival. Upon seeing the Yokudan sails, they took up the sword again. They struggled mightily. We honor their bravery. But no, they fell before the Yokudan onslaught like all the others. Yes, my friend, albeit slowly. Not all heed Tuwaka's words as I do. When the Withered Hand is no more, we will have much to do. All the corpses to be cleaned and dressed. Zet's tears. We will need more throne keepers. Of that I am certain. Hello there.
You're not welcome here. We will defend our land.
In our fight against the Needs, we saw the raw power of defiance. We came to respect Tamriel and its warriors. You must now battle the giant Goblin King. The Regatta's long road to conquest was paved with thousands of these beasts' corpses. Such things are difficult to imagine, yes. In those times, goblins were mighty beasts, and their cruelty was not tempered by cowardice as it is now. Their filthy strongholds littered the sands of Hammerfell like a pox when the Regatta arrived. Horrible indeed. Our Yokudan ancestors could not tolerate such a blight on their new homeland. They would suffer no rivals, and so one of their mightiest heroes, Frandar Hunding, rallied the swords of the Regatta to slay the beasts. Tuatha claimed him during one of the bloodiest battles of the campaign. But his son, Divad, filled with wrath over the slaying of his father, soon rose to take command of the Regatta. The Song of Divad tells us that he and his band of sword singers worked their sacred forges and consulted eldritch tomes for many long years to create 5 great swords. With these blessed blades, the Regatta forever vanquished the giant goblins. Well, Tuatha tells me that you must do battle with the spirits of the long-dead giant Goblin King. To what end? I do not know, but only fools doubt Tuatha's wisdom. Ironically, it was in our fight against the hideous goblins that we came to love the desert and its simple beauty. Now you must face the proud orc warriors of ancient Orsinium. The fight for the orc city proved to be one of our greatest trials. It is the heart of orcdom in Tamriel, settled at the foot of the Hrothgarian Mountains. It is a city of simple things, towering and cold. It has been razed and rebuilt countless times. The orcs are a tenacious people. Conquerors is a strong word, but yes, of course they were. Our ancestors and the Bretons laid siege to the city for 30 years before finally breaching the walls and razing the city. The orcs proved to be fearsome adversaries. You must face the ancient orcish specters in battle, and then summon and defeat their leader, General Theshaga. Tuwaka says there is great wisdom to be gleaned from this.
Don't think I'm going to make it.
You are not welcome here. We will defend our land.
The swords of Yukuda were not often sheathed. Our long siege of Orsinium taught us the value of patience. Now you must face the forces of the Breton king, Joal, a treacherous asp, whose lust for power led to broken alliances and countless sorrows. He was the king of Daggerfall during the siege of Orsinium. The embers of the Orcish hold had not even cooled before he took up arms against our ancestors, his former allies. He was slain by a heroic sword singer at the Battle of Bankarai Pass. You must slay the perfidious spirits of King Joal's Breton army. Then King Joal himself, I suspect. Tuwaka shall be watching.
Redguard. You served your purpose. Now you will die.
Keep it down. Wake the dead.
Joal's betrayal taught us yet another virtue. Caution. Wariness. We remain slow to trust, but loyal beyond measure. You have reached the summit. The Make-Way God sees much at this height. Have you learned the greatest lesson of this place? The greatest lesson of Hundig's watch is this. Wars are fleeting, but honor is eternal. The dunes of time are ever shifting. Kings rise and fall. Cities are raised and rebuilt. Alliances are forged and broken. But honor, glory, legend remains. Your valor strikes a mighty bell. The heroes have come here themselves. Makela Leki, Derek Hallen, and both Frandar and Divad Hunding. Their spirits have come here to meet you, to challenge you, and to teach you. No, you will not cross blades. The Sword Singers were as much mages as warriors. They sought strength of body and of mind. These spirits will speak to you. Choose your words with care, though. Tawaka says they seek to teach and to test.
The blades are forbidden. We must not use them.
Without them, our people, our civilization will die.
Taking up those blades may lead to something far worse than death.
All choices exact a toll, Wayfarer. Some are trivial, but some linger for generations. I was forced to drink from a bitter cup in my time, and all Redguards have paid the price. I wonder if you would have made the same choice. Giant goblins, beasts thought conquered by Divad, have returned. The fight goes poorly. You know the location of powerful magicked blades, but they are dangerous. They were hidden for a reason. Do you seek out the blades, or fight on without them? You would have met a glorious end. We chose the blades and destroyed the beasts. But as a result, the Shahai, our spirit swords, were forever destroyed. Centuries of wondrous tradition was snuffed out. I must bear this weight, always.
The goblins approach, my lord. They will slaughter our scouts.
must hold this pass or the war is lost. Their sacrifice will be remembered always.
Many of our noblest warriors will be slain. How can you turn your back to them?
A goat will run if you strike it. A jackal may bite if you give chase. Only man can choose to do nothing. The path of restraint is often the hardest. I pose to you a question, one that still haunts me. You are a scout for a great army, perched on a mountainside. In the pass below, a band of enemy soldiers slowly approach the position of your dearest friend. Do you abandon your post to help your friend, or do you remain hidden to report the attack? So, you place duty above personal concerns. Your superiors would be pleased, certainly. But could you bear the guilt? Could you walk all the long trails of your life, knowing that your inaction led to the death of your closest friend?
We must consider negotiation, my son.
To the dogs with that! Hira has killed my mother. He killed your wife.
What you say is true. But many more wives and sisters will die if we take up the sword.
This cave has made a coward of you. We must fight!
To choose for oneself is simple. To choose for a nation is hard. The heaviest blade is as a feather compared to the trust of one's people. Abide with me, and listen carefully. A tyrant threatens your people. If you submit to him and become his willing thrall, your people will be shown mercy. If you attack, you and your people will be driven from your homeland and exiled to the sea. What do you do? Submission would have brought peace, yes, but at what cost? All that Yokuda was and is finds its source in the blade. We could not waver. Even so, there is always cost. I chose the sword. Many, and many were lost. Was this the greater good?
I spent my early years as a maiden of the Spirit Blade. As early as I can remember. Great heroes often carry the greatest regrets. They lie buried in the sand with the bones and broken blades, hidden, forgotten. I had many stories to pass on, but only one is known. Hearken to me. You have won a great battle and covered yourself in glory. But you are gravely wounded. A magical memory stone will allow you to record your last thoughts. Do you think of the battle recording history? Or do you immortalize your beloved family? The battle was important, yes. But is love not also worthy of remembrance? I thought of my training and the details of the battle, but as I turned my thoughts to family, death silenced me. Now they are forgotten, lost for all time.
Tuwaka tells me the heroic spirits have returned to their slumber. Ah, only Tuwaka has such knowledge, my friend. I could barely hear you from here. Luckily, Tuwaka has shared some of his wisdom with me. You walk the narrow path that cuts between glory and sacrifice, valor and patience. You measure your pursuit of honor with reason and foresight. To see all ends is a gift only Tuwaka possesses. But to walk in his footsteps is wise indeed. What? No! I simply thought you'd like to know what Tuwaka thought of you. He is an excellent judge of character. No. The real lesson of these heroes is that legend always carries a price. You must be prepared to pay that toll when it comes. Tuwaka extends his hand. You need only enter the portal, and you will be transported back to the desert below.
Please, tell me you have seen her. Shiri, the scholar's apprentice. Have you seen her? She had the ancient text from the Withered Hand necromancer at Tava's Blessing. She was supposed to go back to Bergama, but she never made it. We knew Shiri believed the Third Ward was here, and that you came this way, so we were hoping. Alas, there is one other place she might be, but I am too weak to make the journey. Will you take on the search for Shiri in my stead? It is not just Shiri. It is the text she found at Tava's Blessing. Scholar Zore says it must be kept away from the Withered Hand. Shiri has a cousin in Satakalam, Nahira. Please, you must go and see if Shiri is there. Thank you, my friend. Prince Azaz said you were indispensable. I now see why. You do an old soldier a great favor by helping. I hope Shiri is not hurt, and even more so, I hope that text has not been taken again by the Withered Hand. I was beset by many troubles on the journey from Tava's Blessing. Scorpions, Dune Rippers, and then, not far from here, I was ambushed by the Withered Hand. I managed to kill the dirty dogs, but not before they had hurt me pretty good. Yes, I just need time to rest, to eat, and to properly bandage my wounds. Finding Shiri is too important, though. I would have made myself go on, however slowly, if you were not here. I do not know, but it is all we have to go on. Scholar Zore was almost certain Shiri would have come here, but she suggested Satakalam as her next guess. Shiri was not close to her cousin, but Zore said she planned to visit Nahira someday. She needs to take that text she found in Tava's Blessing and bring it back to Zore and Bergama. If you are willing, I would suggest you escort the girl there yourself. She seems to have a talent for getting lost.
I'm grateful for what you've done. am grateful for what you've done.
Only the dead and the desperate end up in this part of the desert. You appear to be neither, so you must be a very brave woman. Do you intend to enter the cursed grounds? The tears of the dishonored? It is a place of decay. A place even the gods do not acknowledge. It is where the dishonored dead are sent. When one has shamed themselves beyond redemption, his or her body is dumped here, unwashed and unconsecrated. My wife's remains were sent here, unjustly. She was a good woman. I have come to see her remains consecrated, but it has proven difficult. I wonder if you could assist me. If so, come to the gates of the burial grounds and I will explain. As you can see, this is a horrible place. They just dump the bodies anywhere. And the predators, these harpies, come to feed on the corpses. My Zaria, she does not deserve this. She has done nothing wrong. It was her older brother's fault. The dirty thief. He took advantage of her. He came to Zaria, on the run from some dangerous people to whom he owed a great deal of money. He asked her to sell some items he and his friends had acquired. Yes, and Zaria knew that. But her brother promised to find legitimate work once he paid his debts, so she agreed to help. But then he and his friends came back, asking her to fence more stolen items, and threatening violence if she refused. She turned them into the guard, but they had planted evidence on her suggesting she had stolen some valuable gems. In the end, they were all executed. Even my poor Zaria. So now I ask, would you be willing to consecrate her remains? No. If I did, I would have presented it long ago, and perhaps saved her life. As it is, though, I do not expect to have her exonerated. I only ask that her remains be consecrated. I understand your hesitation. Perhaps you would at least consider it. Take these funerary oils and perform the consecration. You will know Zaria's corpse because she still wears the wooden ring I gave her when we were first married. Find her remains and pour the oil upon them. That is all I ask.
If you have come to search my remains for the gems I was accused of stealing, then you are both a coward and a fool. You will not find the gems here. Only the corpse of a good woman who did not deserve this dishonor. No, wait! Please do not. It is sweet of Darius to try to do this for me, but I am not ready to go to the far shores. My body was dumped here for a crime I did not commit, and I would see myself exonerated before I rest. I do. The fiends who did this to me, my brother and his friends, their remains are here too. They framed me for stealing valuable gems, but the truth was that they swallowed the gems. They died with the proof of my innocence in their guts. Yes, as the corpses of the dirty dogs have decomposed, the gems have been exposed. If you would recover these gems, that would prove my innocence. You would allow these smug bastards to get away with it? I suppose they paid for their crimes already, didn't they? I am grateful that my sweet Darius cared enough to come and consecrate my remains. I suppose this is enough.
I prayed Tawaka would guide you. Did you find Zaria? Good. Then at least now her spirit can make the journey to the far shores. If only... No. It does no good to dwell on what might have been. This is enough. Thank you.
way out into the...
You look like a person of great intelligence. Allow me, Wayfarer, to let you in on a secret. What? Sand-blown mine, my friend. I don't even know where that is, or what it is even. Is it nearby? Sending people to a mine? By more was left teat. Why would I do that? Is there gold there? Dreadful. Well, all this talk of snakes and mines. It is exhausting. I'll just be going now. I have a long day of work tomorrow. Lifting things, you know, carrying them, that sort of thing. It has been a pleasure speaking with you. Well, that is to say, they made me do it. Friend, I beseech you, show mercy. I am an innocent man. I had no choice. They told me they would feed me to the snake if I didn't cooperate. Please, just let me go.
Mind the skies. There are harpies about. What's this? I'd heard that he was pestering people, but I certainly didn't suspect anything this sinister. Now that you mention it, though, we have had more than a few disappearances recently. We naturally suspected the harpies. Thank you for bringing this simpering cur to me. If what you say is true, many dear friends fell to this dog's treachery. I look forward to returning the favor.
Whatever the constable does to me, it'll be better than being eaten by a snake. At least I hope so.
Mind the skies. There are harpies.
Keep it down! Great. A fan. I need you to keep quiet. You see those rabid dogs up ahead? Raiders. They swept into my camp this morning, slaughtered us nearly to a man. They'll kill you too if they see you. I can't stay here forever. There must be a way through them. An interesting proposal. Let's see if your bite is as fierce as your bark.
Get our treasure! Aid me! Set it ablaze!
That worked out much better than I thought it would. I think formal introductions are in order. My name is Thoraya. Pleased to meet you. Well, you just helped me avoid a vicious stabbing. We were a group of 20 this morning. No longer. I'll bet my dog of a husband set up this ambush. That's ex-husband, actually. Bastard probably knew I was coming. We were developing competing studies on the Dwemer, and I found the location of this ruin, Volenfell, before he did. Poisoned me, stole my journals and notes, left me for dead. So, I came after him with a small army. Who knew he'd have one, too? Only thing I can do is try to get my research back from him. This place houses the Guardian's Eye, an artifact I've hunted for months. Will you help me? It'll be worth your while. My husband, Quintus Varus, is around here somewhere. He's got every scrap of research I've done on these ruins and the Guardian's Eye. I need my materials back. It's an ancient Dwemer artifact of immense power. Is what it? Look, someone out there will pay a small fortune for it. You have no idea how difficult it was to catch word of the Eye. The Mages Guild, Tamriel's leading archaeologists, they'll all kill to get it. Like my dear husband tried to do.
We'll leave you bloody sad. Burn it! Light it up! You're not gonna leave here alive! Burn it! Light it up! Healer!
Bury you in the sands.
Set it ablaze! Burn it! Set it ablaze! Light it up! Burn it!
I need healing.
Got past my men. Did Thoraya put you up to this? She's still out there, isn't she? Kill these fools!
Light it up!
I'll have to do this myself. Here it is. Cower before the rod of Kravari. So much fire. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. This has more kick than I remembered. Awaken, my darling. I need you to wake and smash this rabble to pieces. Awaken, my darling. I need you to wake and smash this rabble to pieces.
Poor Quintus. Always a little clumsy in his research, in murdering people, in relationships. You'll have to excuse me if I don't shed a tear for my dearly departed husband. Our relationship wasn't always like this. That first night was wonderfully raucous. Of course, it only took a week for him to try to kill me. Let's see, that was last week. I wanted to see his research, and we know he needed mine. It felt like it took an eternity to get it. Too bad I knew more than he did. But enough about me. I'm sure you'll find the Guardian's Eye much more interesting. Fantastic. A hall referenced as the Guardian's Helm should be your first stop, accessible through a side passage nearby. My texts hint that you'll find a mechanism within, probably a lever, that will open the way for us to move deeper. We have a ways to go, I'm afraid. You'll face Dwemer mechanics within. Traps, automatons. Mind your surroundings. Go on ahead. We're going to see if we can muscle through this door here while you search for an easier way to get it open. My notes say that you'll find a mechanism in the Guardian's helm that will help. I think our time will be better spent attempting to force the entrance open. We'll work faster that way, you see? Come now. That's not fair. We're working off of my research after all, and you're better at danger than I am. We'll be waiting. I mean, working, here, to get the door open. You did it! Our way is clear. Let me review my notes. Ah, yes. My research says that we need to bypass the Guardian's skull. It too should have an unlocking lever that will allow us to pass deeper into these ruins. Almost definitely. The transition from the Guardian's helm to Guardian's skull implies vulnerability, I think. We must be getting closer to the eye. Let me see. There are several mentions of air. Hot air? Steam? It's a direct translation, so we could be talking about steam exhaust, volcanic steam, bath steam. Just be careful. My crew and I are collecting Dwemer samples to sell them. You should explore. Now that I've seen this place, I'd guess the Dwemer were not kindly creatures. Only a sadistic culture would build the constructs and traps we've encountered. I do a little bit of everything. I enjoy new experiences. Last week's was marriage. This week's was divorced and Dwemer ruins. Both will hopefully lead to considerable fortune. I came here for the gold, but I can't stand here and not bask a little in the history. I've often wondered if the Dwemer ever expected they wouldn't be here today. If my research is correct, then you've unlocked the door to the Eye itself. According to my notes, the Eye is located in a chamber called the Guardian's Orbit. Sounds somewhat grisly. It's probably the structure up ahead. Probably the most powerful constructs yet remain in this ruin. The Dwemer are so very fond of leaving their treasure with their traps and automatons. Be ready for anything. I can't believe the Guardian's Eye is nearly in our grasp. I don't know what you're planning to do with your share, but I'm buying a gold-plated carriage. In a chamber called the Guardian's Orbit. My notes don't relate an exact location, but there can't be many unexplored structures remaining. My crew and I have got our hands full, so you'll have to do some exploring on your own. fragile. Please, let me examine it. Now let's see if I can dislodge this. Something's happening. This doesn't seem right. That was unpleasant. Do you hear that? Like a scratching sound. Oh no. We have to get out of here.
Get out of here! Follow Thuraya! I'll cover your escape!
The eye was within my grasp. Months of planning wiped out in seconds. How could this happen? I had it in my hands, and it vanished in that blinding light. Blasted Dwemer magic. Then those undead came, crawling from the ground. Perhaps the eye woke them. Sep's tongue. Something awful has befallen this place. We need to get clear. But I can't believe the eye is gone. And I have a bad feeling about those undead. I'm going to get some help. Warn the region. Who knows how many of them are in there? After what I just saw, I'm not sure of anything. I or no. Unearthing the undead is always an ill omen. And as much as I want to walk away, I don't think this mess is going to clean itself up.